Hey guys, Jeremy here. Again, kind of just walking around town. So I thought I'd review the second episode of Stranger Things. Now, there was two parts of this episode, really. That was how Eleven came back into the world and just what she's doing. And then the boys with the relationship with Max, as well as Will's incident. There was another flashback. Now, I want to talk about Eleven first, mainly because how easily she came back into the real world sort of pissed me off. Mainly because of how quickly and how easily she came back. It almost nullifies the intention of her seeming sacrifice at the end of the first season, because I knew she would come back, admittedly, but I didn't think she would come back literally the same night that she killed the Demogorgon. I did, however, like how they basically put her into hiding because she doesn't want to put Mike's family in danger, or Mike himself. Now, I didn't mind that. And I kind of like the flashbacks into how she survived. However, there's a few flashbacks in the middle of the episode that kind of just happen for the sake of happening. There isn't really a marker or a purpose. Usually in most stories, they'll pick up an object or they'll see something that triggers a memory. Really, in this episode, there's just a few that happen that have no meaning. Absolutely none. They just appear because they're in the script. However, I did like the ending where she talks with Mike and she doesn't really talk with him, but she sees him in the upside down viewing world, and she sees that he's sad, and she sees that he misses her, and she breaks down at the end. And I thought that was a really good emotional part. By the way, I didn't say this in the first episode review, but the music is fucking spot on. It's absolutely incredible. They're adding so much variation, there's so much influence into different music genres of the time that it's just so good just to listen to. I love listening to the soundtrack. And then as for the boys and their relationship with Mad Max, now that was kind of interesting, mainly because her brother's a complete psychotic. Now, some people were complaining about just the clichéness of her brother, and well, this show is a complete homage to everything that came from the 80s, and anyone who's ever watched a Stephen King movie knows that her brother is a Stephen King bully, like down to the fucking hair and the costume. He's exactly a Stephen King bully, so I don't know what they were expecting, because that's exactly what it is. Now, the boys are kind of interesting, as Dustin is interested in Max, but also Dustin sees something in his trash can at the end, which admittedly has a great cliffhanger ending. But I like Mike and Will's relationship, because Will is thoroughly starting to lose his mind because he keeps on flashing back and he sees the weird octopus thingy, and Mike is just mad. Mike's pissed off at the world and he's missing 11, and so they're like, oh, we'll both go crazy together. So I like that they're so able to convey drama between children in an adult way, but it's not too overly serious and it's not too cheesy, that you find it believable. The dialogue is good. And I see that Nancy got drunk and she was mean to poor Steve. How could you be mean to Steve, especially with that hair, that gorgeous hair? We see that Jonathan's still kind of in the realm of the friend zone, and we don't know if we'll ever get out of that, but I did like how it ends. I do like that they're still playing with that field. Otherwise, though, I like the character elements of this episode, but there's a lot of filler and there's a lot of things that kind of just, I don't know. Just like I said, this 11's lack of effort to get back into the real world it nit me a little bit. But in the end, I still like the episode, love the music, and I'm definitely excited to see what happens in episode 3. So I'm gonna give this episode a 4 out of 7. It was decent. It's definitely not one of the it only has a few moments here, but like I said, there was good emotional moments, but there's just some parts that kind of just are there for the sake of being there. Anyways, guys, on to the next episode. See you in a little bit.